electronics and pharmaceuticals. What most people don't know is that they amount to about 7 billion in 2008. And yet their diamonds, which nobody talks about, are worth a staggering 20 billion.
Okay, Israel, we're going to go back to the scriptures, and we left off right at Exodus 20:15, thou shalt not steal. Okay, what is within this one? Okay, if these are the umbrella to the rest of the laws, what's possibly in this one? Thou shalt not steal. Okay, so I know one right off the back. Let's find out what's included in thou shalt not steal. I want to go to Exodus 21 and 16. Okay. When we go to Exodus 21 and 16, right here. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. He shall surely be put to death. Or if he be found in his hand. See that? So, who was stolen? Let's look on this planet. Who was stolen and sold? Slaves, right? Okay, now the scriptures, if you know the scriptures, it talks about that Israel can buy bondmen and bondwomen, okay, who are not of Israel. That's in the scriptures too. That's in the law. Okay, but it speaks about when Israel are sold as slaves. Okay, now the Israelites are the Negroes, Latinos, and American Indians. The greatest slave trade in the history of the world was the Atlantic slave trade. And that particular systematic trade dealt with taking certain individuals from Africa. I have statistics proving that the Negroes were different than any other race in Africa. Okay, and don't doubt that I don't have it, because I do have it. It was systematically done where the Negroes were pulled from West Africa over all other slaves, because in order to get slaves, you don't want slaves who are lazy, who can't work, who can't do anything. You look at the Negroes today, that's what you think. When you see the Negroes today, they're worn down, they're beat down, tired, lazy, defeated. That word is what it is, defeated. Because when you look at the 1600s, when they got here, everything you see around you, it was the Negro's hand who built it. It says, he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, was still in his hand. The Negroes, Latinos, and American Indians. They're still in the hands of the man who stole them. So like I said, when you look around and you see all the things, the greatness of America, look behind the scenes and see who built what and who came up with what. Alright? The Negroes are the Israelites, and by them being systematically taken from the West Africa, that was a retreat for them too. That wasn't their land. Okay, they originally fled from Israel in 70 AD. So what I'm trying to help you understand is that this one is a big one. And the heathens who took these people, the Negroes, Latinos, American Indians, these people are still found in their hand. Okay. This is where we're Exodus 20 and 15. Thou shalt not steal. Okay, let's look at another form of stealing. Okay, let's go to Leviticus 26. And like I said, these are the law within the umbrella of the commandments. Let's see if many of you might know this one. Is it Leviticus? Yeah, let's go to Leviticus 25. Yeah, 25. Leviticus 25, verse 36. This is a big one. Here we go. Leviticus 25 and 36. Take thou no usury of him, or increase, but fear thy power, that thy brother may live with thee. So it says, take no usury of him. Let's look up that word usury. Okay. Okay. Usury. Noun. It says the lending or practice of lending money at an exorbitant interest. So you have credit cards, and with the credit cards, you build a fee. If you're late, that's interest. That's what usury is. So now when you see usury, you know what it is. An exorbitant amount of rate of interest, especially in excess of the legal rate. Okay? So you get some people, you borrow something from, like a rental place, you bring it back a day late, they're going to charge you an interest fee. Okay? Interest paid for the use of money. That's how they make their money. Interest. But the scriptures tell you ain't supposed to do it. That's a form of stealing. Okay? It was a good faith rule that you lent it out. Good faith, that's in the black law book. To give something of good faith, this usury fee is not of good faith. That means you don't trust the person you're lending it to, so you're going to charge them interest. So the Negroes, Latinos, and American Indians are in debt behind that very thing. Interest. And they're struggling. Can't get ahead. Okay? Just a little information. Interest came about and the credit came about actually during the barter system. That was the good faith credit rule, where you borrow something and you give something for someone for something. But during the 1900s, it was here in San Francisco that when the Chinese came here, the Chinese were saving their money at such a great amount that they wasn't going to the banks at all, and they were just buying things with cash. Okay, so what they did was they passed a law. California, the state of California passed a law where they would charge that you couldn't buy anything unless you had credit. Okay, something of documented credit from a bank. In other words, you had to have a bank account with a large amount of money, and you had to be a faithful customer for years with the form of credit. So if you didn't have credit, you couldn't purchase anything. That's how credit got started in the United States. Same way. The unfaith, not the good faith, but the usury faith. That's how that came about. Okay? They started taxing people. And it's something that's not new, but they found a way to get around it with the other people coming into the U.S. So they wanted to keep the U.S. If you thought I was lying, here it is right here. Here's the documentation. The anti-alien message of Congress Julius Kahn. This is him. He was a representative, Julius Kahn, delegate of California. Keep California white. This is keynote of anti-Jap speech by Congressman Kahn in the East. Okay, so it says New York, February 13th, speaking before the Lincoln Club in Brooklyn, Congressman Julius Kahn of California, referring to the Japanese question last night, said that the people of his state were anxious to preserve it as a white man's country. We in the West, he said, appeal to you men in the East to help us in this matter, if ever that narrow strip of land should be given over to the Oriental. The white man is sure as fate will have to retire back to the Mississippi, and don't you forget it. Wherever the Chinese or Japanese settle, the white man has to go. Mr. Kahn said that he admired Japan's progress, but that he wanted them at safe distance, and that while California stood ready to give the present immigration laws a fair trial, the people would demand exclusion of conditions were not soon improve. He praised the Japanese government for its efforts to restrict cool immigration and said that the people of California did not object to the higher class Japanese. Okay, it says will not allow any aliens to own land. So there it is. Okay, so they came up with credit to keep these people from owning land and houses. Here he is right here. Here's the man. So you can't say that I'm lying. Alright, I want to show you documentation. The thing about these laws that get passed, they stay in effect until somebody amends them. If you don't know about it, how will you fight it? So this is what Christ was, Yahushua or Mashiach was talking about. Think not that I couldn't destroy the law, but to fulfill. In other words, the laws are still in effect, except for the sacrificial and the, you should know the answer, judgmental. Those are gone. All the rest are here. There's only one that you could really keep perfect though. James 2:8 says the moral laws, and that's what we're going over. Okay, we're trying to keep them perfect. It says here, thou shalt not bear false witness, right? That's another one. This is a big one in Israel. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. So where can we go to on that? Let's go there.